I have the most fun room in our house, my 5.5-year-old announced last week while I was doing my makeup in the other room. I have, you ready? A bag of tricks here. I have a fidget spinner. I have a dinosaur. Wow, right? I have a Star Wars poster. I didn't bring that. He told me not to take everything from his room. I have a Jewish star I made at Washington Hebrew. He named item after item until I heard, a bug! He ran into the bathroom, fidget spinner in hand. Help! I accompanied him to his room where he showed me a large, dead, crunchy cricket at the bottom of the toy bin. I picked it up very calmly, that is not easy for me, and threw it away. To my great delight and surprise, the cricket emergency ended as quickly as it began, and he went right back to, I have lots and lots of books, I have a Batman pillow, I have a tzedakah box from Washington Hebrew with 2 pennies in it. I'll put this down now. I have so many things. He listed and listed as if he himself had learned from the ancient teacher Ben Zoma, who taught, Ezehu Ashir Hasameach Bechelko. Who is rich? The one who is happy with his portion. For those few minutes, my son was filled with gratitude and appreciation for these little small things, so much so that he expressed it spontaneously and freely. With the feeling of thanksgiving in the air, I haven't been able to stop thinking about that moment. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it because the kind of uninhibited gratitude my son demonstrated that morning is the kind of gratitude I wish I felt and expressed much more often. If I'm honest with myself, though, I probably fetch and complain a little bit more than I need to. It seems like it should be relatively easy to walk through the world with an attitude of gratitude, but I would guess that for many of us, it's a challenge. How many of us spend more time concentrating on what we want instead of focusing on what we have? How many of us talk about the things that are not going well instead of the many things that are going just right? How many of us say thank you because we're conditioned to do so, but not because we really feel it? Why doesn't gratitude come more naturally to us? Maybe it's because we live in a world that constantly tells us we need more and more and more. Thanksgiving and Black Friday shopping go hand in hand. And this year, according to the New York Times, the National Retail Federation predicted 130 million Black Friday shoppers today, and I was one of them. I've got to fess up to that too. Isn't it ironic, though, that for so many, a day of giving thanks for what we have rolls right into a day of trying to buy everything we don't have? We might be tempted to view our inability to stay in a place of gratitude as a problem unique to our time. But as is often the case with contemporary challenges, they are actually not new at all. Rabbi Bachya ibn Pakuda, who lived almost 1,000 years ago, thought deeply about gratitude. He wanted to understand why people have so much trouble living in a mindset of thankfulness. Rabbi Pakuda came up with 3 reasons so applicable that one might believe he'd peered directly into the future at the lines outside of Best Buy and Macy's. His first reason: we are preoccupied with obtaining every wish and desire. However high our standard of living, we climb and climb. His second reason: the many blessings in our life become so routine and ordinary that we barely notice them anymore. We don't feel grateful because we take what we have for granted. And reason 3, we lose sight of the fact that our very existence itself is a blessing. Life can be exceedingly difficult. Sometimes we suffer enormously. Sometimes we feel broken. During the darkest of days, it can feel like there is nothing to be thankful for. In this week's Torah portion, Rebecca, who suffered from infertility for 20 years, feels so sick and terrified from the pregnancy she finally has as her twins wrestle inside her that she says to God, "Why do I exist?" Who could blame her? In that moment, her existence does not feel like a blessing. Sometimes our pain is so great that gratitude feels completely out of reach. If that's true for you right now, you don't have to go through it alone. Reach out to me or any of the other clergy at this congregation so that we can support you. And have compassion for yourself if you can't access gratitude right now. But for those of us who find that our obstacles to gratitude have more to do with an incessant striving for something more, for those of us who go through the motions barely noticing the blessings around us, or worse, mostly noticing the frustrating parts of life, what we lack, this season of Thanksgiving can serve as an opportunity to press a gratitude reset button, as one wise rabbi did for a man in his village long ago. As the story goes, a man named Yaakov went to see the rabbi. As Yaakov stepped inside the rabbi's office, the rabbi immediately said, "Yaakov, why the long face?" "Oi, Rebbe, things are not going well. My life is full of chaos. My children whine about everything. Our dog barks at everyone. And my house is a mess because it's much too small. If I only had more money, I don't know what to do." Without missing a beat, the Rebbe had a solution at hand. "Yaakov, here's what I want you to do. You have chickens, right?" "Of course, Rebbe," Yaakov said. Good, the Rebbe said. "Take all of your chickens and bring them into your home." Yaakov thought this sounded like a rather crazy idea, but his rabbi had never steered him wrong before, so he did as he was told. The chickens clucked all day long. They walked on the table and got in the way of everyone. Things were much, much worse. Yaakov went back to the rabbi feeling somewhat exasperated. "Rebbe, things have gotten much, much worse. These chickens, I can't even tell you what it's like." I see, the rabbi said. "When you go home, I want you to take your goats and bring them inside your house." "What?" Yaakov said. But the rabbi gave him a look, and Yaakov knew he had no choice. So the man got home, and he brought all of the goats along with their food into his house. The chickens continued to cluck, cluck, cluck. The goats only stopped saying "ma" to munch on shoes, belts, and anything else they could find. And though Yaakov didn't think it was possible, things were even worse than they'd been before. He went back to the rabbi very exasperated. When he walked in, the rabbi smiled and said, "Yaakov, how are things?" "I'm glad you asked, Rebbe. Things are not good. Things are not good at all. With the goats and the chickens living in my house, it's madness. Aren't you glad I don't give you advice like this?" I see. Perhaps we need something bigger than chickens and goats. When you go home, take your dairy cows into your house." He knew it. You knew the cows were coming next. You've heard this. Oh, my God. All right, well, you maybe can help me now. This time, Yaakov's jaw hit the ground. He walked out of the rabbi's office in a stupor. All right, are you ready? He knows. When Yaakov got home, he brought the 3 cows into his home. The chickens, can you do it? Cluck, 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 cluck. You got it. And the goats, meh, meh, right? And the cow, that you predicted. Mood, very good. Yaakov, his wife, and his children had hardly any room to move around or sit down. After 24 hours of total mayhem, Yaakov returned to the rabbi at wit's end. He described the scene, nearly raising his voice in anger. "Wow," the rabbi said, "sounds like quite the commotion. I was going to suggest you invite your sheep into your home, but it seems like that might not be the way to go here. How about this? When you get home, remove the chickens, the goats, and the cows from your home and bring them back to the farm." "Fine," Yaakov said as he left the rabbi's office without even saying goodbye. As soon as Yaakov returned home, he said to his family, "Quick, everyone! The Rebbe said we should take all the animals back to the farm." They were thrilled. They worked together and returned all of the animals to their respective barns. That evening, Yaakov looked around. He couldn't believe how spacious his home was, how calm and peaceful it felt. And even though his kids still whined, the dog still barked, and the house still felt a little cluttered, he was happier with his newfound appreciation for the numerous blessings in his life. Most of us don't live on a farm, though I know at least one person here who does. And even if we did, I don't think we would agree to bring all of our animals into our home. So how do we begin to cultivate this mindset of gratitude? Maybe we walk into a room like my son did and simply look at everything. It's pretty cool, right? Simply look at everything we have and just feel happy about it. How do we begin to find words to help us express our thanks? All we have to do is open the prayer book. Remember earlier when we sang, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. What does it mean? It is good to give thanks to God and to praise your name. If you come to Shabbat morning services, you've sung with our cantors, Moda ani lefanecha, which directly translates to, I give thanks to you. And traditionally, these are the first words that Jews are supposed to say upon waking up in the morning. And just a few minutes ago, we shared some of the good and joyous things in our lives and recited together, you know the words, Modim anachnu lach. We give thanks. Expressions of gratitude are right at our fingertips. So let's start right now on this Shabbat. Open your prayer book to page 59. We recited part of this already, but let's read these words together. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach, she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, modim anachnu lach. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life. Wonder, wonder beyond words.
שמך ולכנה אל הודות מודים אנחנו לך מודים אנחנו לך מודים אנחנו לך שאתה